All right. Good morning. Good evening. Good night. Whenever you see this, Celeste the Silver Cord here. Sup, witches. It is super early for me. It's like, I don't know, it's like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Got my coffee going on. I'm supposed to be going to Savannah River, go riding on some boats today. I don't know. I never make plans, and then my mother decided to make plans this morning too with my grandparents, and I'm like, I never make plans. I've been talking about I wanted to go to the river with my friends this weekend. Oh, since Wednesday. Last night she tells me she made plans this morning to go see my grandparents. She should be home in time. I'm like, whatever. I don't get to go out on the boat in the Savannah River. I'll just go over to I'll just go to the river and go to the swimming hole. I'm going swimming today. Hell or high water. Though it might be high water. Maybe I will get out of it because, I don't know, there's some freak dust storm from Africa that comes through every so many decades. So, I'm not sure if this is cloudy or this is part of that. It's supposed to be hitting some point this week. I did want to talk to you guys about something important though. And I can't help it because it's just, well, it's what I see and it's what I end up talking about a lot. And I've been trying to put the message out for a while that if you are not happy where you are at or who you are with, you should have been, before the retrogrades even started, finding ways to make it easier if you have to leave. This is the importance of being independent, and I've brought this up before. If you are in any way, shape, or form emotionally or financially completely dependent on your survival on someone else, you don't know if you actually want to stay or not, do you? Because are you staying because you love the person? Or are you staying because it would be too hard to leave? And trust me, I get it. I did it twice. You know, my first husband, it was 10 years. It was 10 years of just constant arguing and never getting ahead, and constant arguing and never getting ahead, and constant arguing and never getting ahead. And we never had our own place. We were staying with family all the time. We kept, losing our spots, fucking having to take our dogs to the shelter and shit. It was just, and then finally it hit the point, and I was playing all the same excuses. I was like, my first husband was very verbally abusive. But the last 2 years of my whole marriage, we didn't even sleep in the same room. I slept in a different room than him. The only reason I was still hanging around was because I was nursing his grandfather I nursed him off of hospice, but I was taking care of him. I didn't trust leaving him there, because if I left, I didn't think anybody else, I damn sure knew that my husband wasn't going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to put that man's blankets in the dryer so that he would be warm, because it was cold. But I don't know, we got into that last fight, and he grabbed me by my throat, and he pinned me down onto the bed, and just at that point, just when I was about to start swinging myself, my daughter walked into the room. She was only about maybe 18 months old. She was toddling with a little stroller with her baby doll in it, talking to it. She didn't look up at the bed at all. She just walked in a circle around, and then walked back out. And that was just long enough to diffuse the actual physical altercation. But yeah, right after that happened, I've said it before when sometimes you see it, sometimes you feel it, sometimes it all comes crashing down and the universe looks at you and it goes, this is the timeline this person has chosen. And I knew then that my first husband was going down the violent relationship timeline. I was like, not me. Not me. My sister played that game. My mother played that game. And my grandmother's mother played that game. I'm not playing that game. I don't play putting your hands on me. I don't play talking down to me too much anymore either. I mean, I understand you can get in disagreements and stuff like that, but if it's the same argument all the time and nothing I say is getting you to change your behavior at all, and your behavior is somehow negatively affecting me, then you have to start putting that stuff into perspective, guys. It's maybe because I got nothing in my first and seventh house, but you have to weigh it out. It's good times and there's bad times. We all know this. But especially if you've been with somebody for years, if you've noticed that it's been a year or two and there is far more bad times than good times, because if you're in a positive relationship, even in the worst of times, you two should be able to come together and bring each other up. Bad times shouldn't make you guys pull each other apart. Positive relationships do that. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of money. I don't, but even then, like, I really wanted to go to the river last week and we didn't get to go. So my boyfriend knew I was kind of upset about that. So what he did is he took our little kiddie pool and he cleaned it all out for me, and he refilled it, and he put a little table in it, and he put Epsom salts and oils and whatnot in it, so it was like a spiritual bath pool. And we hung out in the freaking kiddie pool one night and just laughed and bullshitted in the kiddie pool. That's the kind of relationship you guys should be looking for, is where when you're sad or upset, they're not pulling you apart. They're trying to find a way, anyway, to help you feel better, not feel worse. If you were in a relationship where you were afraid of your partner, get out. Oh, but I can't afford to. I couldn't either. My kids slept on my mother's couch and I slept on the floor. Maybe it's me. People say I have commitment issues. I think people who tell me that are full of shit and don't want to work on themselves. Oh, you said through sickness and in health. Yeah. But like in the case of my second husband, yeah, I said in sickness and in health till death do us part. But at the time that I made those vows, he was trying to get healthy. And by the time I left, he was more unhealthy than he had ever been, and had totally given up on trying to get healthy and was about to lose his health coverage and everything else. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I said till death do us part, but I didn't realize you were going to make it a motherfucking race. There's a big problem with that with the male program. It's just grind till you die. oh, I'm just gonna go to a job I hate and grind myself to a stump and die young and blah 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 because that's what my daddy did and that's what my granddaddy did, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna work work hard all your life and then you die. That is a crappy ass program. Why does anybody want to run that shit? And you make everybody around you miserable because there's no energy for anybody else. You spend so much energy on work that whenever you're not working, all you're doing is laying on your ass and not doing anything with your family. Nobody's talking anymore, hanging out anymore. I mean, it's just, I don't know. And we got this Mercury retrograde and Venus going direct, and I'm warning y'all, man, they come out of the woodwork during these times. They come out of the woodwork. I've gotten likes on posts from people who haven't talked to me in years. I've gotten my first husband, who wasn't coming around at all for weeks on end, suddenly he's reappearing, just popping by to see the kids every now and then. My second husband, who hadn't called in months, calls and talking about, oh, I was gonna come see you, but then something happened, as per usual. He can never do what he wants to do. He never has enough money to do anything that he wants to do. And I'm like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, dude. If you can't get ahead and I already removed the wife and kids from you and everything that you said was holding you back and you still, just as, you know, you chose a timeline of, I want to struggle. I like struggling. I have fun struggling. And even when you get a good job and you can work every day, something still happens. Oh, they didn't pay me my paycheck. Oh, this happened or that happened. I'm like, don't you get sick of that, man? I'm the same person, man. He falls for all the same Mercury retrograde shit, and he doesn't see how he's manifesting his own reality, and he fought me all tooth and nail over all that shit. It didn't come down to the fact that I was a witch and he was a Christian and he used to be a deacon and all that. We were able to get over all the religious differences. What it came down to is he did not believe that you could control your own reality and manifest your own fucking shit. He was stuck on the, no, you have to do the program. You have to work until you die. That's what they told us we're supposed to do, so that's what we're supposed to do. And that's just how it is. And the working man just works until they die, and that's just, that's what all we do. So you know what, you go ahead and you go be a good little worker bee and run your program. I don't know. I have just always been the kind of person where it's like, you're not a tree. I've been a tree before. I can't wait to be a tree again. But while you're a person, you're not a tree. If you're not happy where you are, leave. Stop worrying about, oh, if I leave and we get a divorce, I failed at something. No, you're failing by staying in a negative, toxic, nasty relationship. If you're coming to me telling me things like you've been unhappy for 2 years, or your boyfriend gets drunk in the middle of the night and wakes up and spazzes out and tears your house apart, beats you with pillows and breaks your shit, what do you think I'm gonna tell you guys? If they're verbally abusive, leave. If they're physically abusive, leave. If they're killing themselves with some kind of addiction and you don't want to watch, you can't watch it anymore and it's driving you insane, leave. You're allowed to leave. Let me say it, let me say it slower now. You are allowed to leave. Will it be hard? Yes. Will it be any harder than what you're going through right now? No, I promise you it won't, because once you make the decision to start making decisions for yourself, you will notice your life will start changing. It will be hard and it will suck at first, but it will not suck as much as it does right now. And every day from the moment you decide to kick that fucking tower over and start rebuilding, you will see the progress of rebuilding, and it will go easier and faster with each step you take. I know how hard it is of a decision. You can't afford to leave. Biggest mistake you will ever make is staying for the kids. Especially if you're watching my video right now, guarantee your children are divine energies too. And we forget this. And we forget that they are just as empathic, and they broadcast their emotions just as strongly as we do. And if you think you are fooling them, you are a fool. Give your kids more credit. They would rather see you happy than together and miserable. They'd rather see you guys separated and happy than together and miserable. And chances are, if you're in these kind of relationships, you will leave. You will start to do better. And it will suck because your kids will still be stuck with the other parent who's still running the shit timelines. I thought leaving my first husband, who put his hands on me, would save my kids from having to watch an abusive relationship. I did not. My first husband, after I left him, ended up dating, at 30, we were both 30, ended up dating a 19-year-old fucking stripper for 3 years, and my kids got to watch them get into screaming matches, and that chick throwing shit all over the fucking place, and them fighting, and every fucking thing else under the sun. I didn't save them from seeing any of it, but I did show them that if you don't want to be with someone like that, you are allowed to leave. I promise you, I'm never getting married again. And then, in the second, now that I think on it, it's like, it is kind of creepy. I may do a hand fasting or something like that, but I ain't getting the government involved in my relationships anymore. I'm sorry. I love you so much. Let's get the government involved so you could never leave. Also, and it was the biggest mistake I made with my second marriage. Getting married ruined our relationship. It did. There was no other way to sugarcoat that one. As soon as we got married, he stopped trying. Started falling apart again. Before we got married, the house was being worked on, renovated. It's been like fucking 3-4 years we've been in this house. And we started working on it, and then we got married, and then all that just stopped. And it took me this long to finally get to paint my house. And I managed to do it without his income. It took me a while. And yeah, shit was rough. And I was grateful for the help that I received. That was fun too. You learn real quick. Everybody was willing to help me as long as I stayed single. As soon as I got a boyfriend, them kids wasn't their responsibility anymore. Because that's how it goes. They want to be helpful until you're dating someone else. And then all that bullshit they talked about how special them kids were, and how, oh, I love my kids, I'm such a good dad, and oh, I love them like they're my own, and blah, 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 blah. They need anything, let me know, I'll send them clothes and whatnot, and I'll send you stuff to help them out so that they can do stuff. And oh, you got a boyfriend now? Oh, now I don't gotta impress you to get pussy? Oh well. What? I ain't gonna help you no more. I ain't gonna call kids no more. I ain't gonna, none of it. See people for who they are. Really weigh out your stuff, guys. And just remember, you're allowed to make decisions that are best for you. And I guarantee that is a lesson you want to teach your kids too. Because really think about it. If you are in an unhealthy relationship and your kids are watching this, you are telling them that it is okay to stay with someone who treats you badly. It is okay to be unhappy all the time. It is okay to fight all the time. It is okay to get drunk all the time. It is okay to whatever the toxic behaviors are. You're telling them it's okay. If your husband doesn't treat you the levels that you would want your daughter to be treated in a relationship, or your girlfriend doesn't treat you to the levels that you would want your son to be treated in a relationship, get out. You are allowed to leave. That's a big message I woke up with this morning, guys. I love you guys so much. You are so much stronger than you realize. I know it is crazy in the world right now, and there is a lot going on, but the window of opportunities are open right now for you guys to jump timelines, but you have to be willing to take the leap. All right? As always, I'll put the link to my Coven, the Silver, the Cord, blah, 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 blah. The Coven, the Silver, the Coven, the Silver Cord. The Coven, the Silver Cord. Facebook link below. My email is below. You can email me any questions or stories or whatever if you just want to talk. I do readings. I do readings through Facebook for regular tarot and past life readings. And I also have a list of the Wheel of the Year readings on the playlists on my page. If you want to check those out, I do offer those too. Just email me and I'll let you know. All right, y'all. Blessed be all those who walk these paths with me. Y'all have a beautiful day. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.